for me to ascend.
I am Catwoman. Hey, stud. We had something together.
My dear Penguin!
When Batman Returns hit theaters in 1992, it redefined what a superhero sequel could be. Directed once again by Tim Burton, the film brought back the dark, Gothic atmosphere that made the first Batman a cultural phenomenon, but infused it with even more psychological depth, twisted artistry, and haunting beauty. This was not just another comic book movie, it was a cinematic vision drenched in shadows, snow, and sorrow. Burton used Gotham City as a canvas to explore loneliness, duality, and corruption beneath the surface of power and wealth. The film dared to go darker, pushing the limits of what mainstream audiences expected from a superhero blockbuster. Michael Keaton returned as Bruce Wayne, his performance colder, quieter, and even more tormented than before. Beneath the mask, this Batman felt more human yet more detached, a man wrestling with his own dual nature as both savior and monster. His Gotham had grown more surreal, a place of towering cathedrals, eerie Christmas lights, and grotesque carnival imagery. It was a city that reflected the mind of its hero, beautiful and broken. Opposite him stood two unforgettable villains, each embodying their own fractured humanity. Danny DeVito's Penguin was not the suave criminal mastermind of the comics, but a tragic and horrifying outcast, deformed, bitter, and filled with vengeance against the world that abandoned him. Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman became one of cinema's most iconic antiheroes, her transformation from timid secretary Selina Kyle into a whip-cracking symbol of empowerment and chaos still unmatched in its intensity. The film's story unfolded like a dark fairy tale. Gotham, blanketed in snow during the Christmas season, became the stage for a struggle between the powerful and the powerless. Oswald Cobblepot, the Penguin, emerges from the sewers seeking acceptance in the surface world, after a lifetime of rejection. His alliance with corrupt industrialist Max Schreck, played with oily charm by Christopher Walken, gives him a platform to rise in Gotham's political scene. Yet beneath his public image of a wronged man, Penguin's true ambition festers to destroy the city that despised him since birth. At the same time, Selina Kyle suffers her own rebirth, literally and symbolically. Pushed out of a window by Schreck after discovering his criminal dealings, she is revived by stray cats and transforms into the fierce, unpredictable Catwoman. Her path intertwines with Batman's, leading to a dangerous dance of attraction and opposition, love and destruction. The tone of Batman Returns was strikingly different from its predecessor. While the first film balanced darkness with comic book adventure, this sequel leaned fully into Burton's Gothic imagination. The cityscape became even more stylized, with towering sculptures, grotesque architecture, and a visual design that blended expressionism with modern decay. Every scene felt like a painting, every shadow hiding something tragic. The choice to set the story during Christmas added an ironic layer, bright lights and carols masking pain and violence. The snow itself became a character, falling silently as chaos unfolded beneath it. Gotham was no longer just a city, it was a dreamlike nightmare, caught between wonder and despair. Musically, Danny Elfman's score elevated the film to operatic levels. His haunting orchestration perfectly captured the emotional conflict of the characters Batman's inner turmoil, Penguin's tragic longing, Catwoman's seductive rage. The music gave voice to their unspoken emotions, creating a sense of tragic beauty that ran through every moment. The sound of choir-like melodies against the bleakness of Gotham's winter skyline made the film feel like a dark symphony. It was no longer about good versus evil, it was about broken souls searching for meaning in a corrupt world. The dynamic between Batman and Catwoman became one of the film's emotional centers. Their encounters crackled with tension, two people who mirrored each other's pain, yet stood on opposite sides of morality. Their rooftop battle, their masked ball confrontation, and their final heartbreaking moments all carried the weight of doomed romance. They were kindred spirits, each living a double life, torn between desire and duty. When Catwoman whispered, "I would love to live with you in your castle," before turning away to finish her vengeance, it perfectly encapsulated the tragedy of their bond. Danny DeVito's Penguin, meanwhile, brought grotesque charisma to the role. Beneath his monstrous exterior lay a child's resentment, a desperate yearning for love twisted into hatred. His penguin army, his circus-like gang, his plan to kidnap Gotham's firstborn sons, all of it reflected his warped desire for belonging. Yet, Burton treated him with empathy, showing glimpses of the scared, abandoned infant who had been cast into the sewer. The moment he dies in the cold water, surrounded by loyal penguins who carry him away, remains one of the most haunting images in superhero cinema. Max Schreck, though not a costumed villain, represented the true face of Gotham's corruption. A businessman willing to sacrifice anyone for power, his partnership with the Penguin illustrated how greed often hides behind respectability. His interactions with Selina Kyle before her transformation showed how easily innocence could be destroyed by ambition. Walken's eccentric energy made Schreck both menacing and absurd, a perfect fit for Burton's world of twisted morality. Visually, Batman Returns pushed practical effects and design to new levels. The Batmobile was sleeker and deadlier, capable of transforming into the Batmissile. The Batcave had a more isolated, melancholy feel, echoing Bruce Wayne's loneliness. Gotham streets were alive with costumed thugs, mechanical penguins, and surreal parades that looked like nightmares from a forgotten carnival. The film's production design, led by Bo Welch, captured a sense of beauty within darkness. Each set piece felt handcrafted, drenched in atmosphere, and unmistakably Burton-esque. The film's release was surrounded by controversy for its mature themes and dark tone. Parents expecting another family-friendly superhero adventure found themselves confronted with sexual tension, violence, and grotesque imagery. Yet, it was precisely this boldness that made Batman Returns stand out. It refused to conform to formula. It treated its characters as tragic figures rather than comic archetypes, exploring desire, alienation, and revenge in a way that was rare for blockbuster cinema. Even decades later, its imagery, the black latex suit glistening under moonlight, the red-stained snow, the lonely vigil of Batman on a cathedral roof continues to resonate. At its core, Batman Returns was about outsiders. Batman, Catwoman, and the Penguin were all broken people trying to find identity in a world that misunderstood them. Each wore a mask, each hid pain beneath the surface. The film asked what it meant to be human in a world driven by power and fear. It blurred the line between hero and villain, suggesting that both were reflections of the same trauma. Burton's empathy for these misunderstood souls gave the film its lasting power. Keaton's understated performance grounded the spectacle. His Batman was less talkative, more symbolic, a presence rather than a personality. His eyes behind the mask carried both sadness and strength. When he removed his cowl in the film's final act, revealing Bruce Wayne beneath, it wasn't just an unmasking, it was an act of vulnerability. Pfeiffer's Catwoman stole the screen with her sensual ferocity, combining tragedy with liberation. Her performance became a cultural icon, redefining the character for generations. DeVito's Penguin, meanwhile, left audiences divided between disgust and pity, proving that a villain could evoke both fear and compassion. Technically, the film showcased Burton's mastery of visual storytelling. The use of contrast bright snow against dark costumes, ornate sets against bleak emotions created a striking aesthetic. The cinematography by Stefan Zipski gave every frame the feeling of a Gothic painting. The lighting emphasized isolation, using shadows to reflect the inner worlds of the characters. From the glowing windows of Shrek's department store to the cold, dripping tunnels of the Penguin's lair, the visuals built a mood of haunting elegance. Batman Returns also deepened the mythology of Gotham. It portrayed the city not just as a place, but as a character alive, decaying yet beautiful in its misery. The citizens, manipulated by politics and spectacle, reflected the cynicism of a society eager to worship false heroes. The Christmas setting added layers of irony, with imagery of angels, toys, and lights juxtaposed against corruption and death. This duality, light and dark, joy and despair, became the film's beating heart. Despite its commercial success, Batman Returns divided audiences and executives. Some praised its artistry and boldness, others criticized it for being too dark for children. Yet over time, its reputation only grew stronger. It came to be seen as one of the most daring superhero films ever made, a director-driven vision that put emotion and atmosphere above formula. Many later comic book movies borrowed from its tone and aesthetic, but few captured its blend of sadness and grandeur. In the years since its release, Batman Returns has gained a loyal following among fans who appreciate its complexity. It stands as a film ahead of its time, blending blockbuster spectacle with emotional storytelling. Its influence can be felt in later portrayals of Gotham, in films and television alike, where darkness and beauty intertwine. The performances of Keaton, Pfeiffer, and DeVito remain benchmarks for their respective characters, and Burton's direction continues to inspire discussions about the boundaries of superhero cinema. Looking back, Batman Returns feels less like a sequel and more like a tragic opera in disguise, a story of love, vengeance, and self-discovery wrapped in the guise of a superhero film. It's a movie that lingers in the mind, not for its explosions or gadgets, but for its haunting images and emotional weight. It captured the loneliness of Bruce Wayne, the rage of Selina Kyle, and the sorrow of Oswald Cobblepot, binding them together in a tale where masks were both protection and prison. Over 3 decades later, its magic endures. Whether it's the chilling echo of Elfman's score, the shimmer of snow over Gotham's skyline, or the sight of Batman standing alone against the cold night, Batman Returns remains one of the most artful and emotionally resonant superhero films ever made. It's not just a story about heroes and villains. It's a story about humanity, loss, and the longing for connection in a world of shadows.